Hey everybody, welcome to Breakfast with Bob. My name is Bob Babbitt. We're up here at the Challenge Daytona and the PTO 2020 Championship, brought to you by Captiva Spine, John Hall Chevrolet, USA Triathlon, Foundation Risk Partners, and the PTO, the Pro Triathletes Organization. With me, defending champion Paula Findlay and Mr. Eric Lagerstrom. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great, Bob. It's awesome to be back here 1 year later, doing the exact same thing.
Doing the exact same thing. I like it.
Having this crazy deja vu looking out the window.
I know. And Eric, I remember last year you were so excited about this race, and was it your seat post that broke?
Yeah. This was the second race that we came to. We went to a race right before this, and before going to that race, I actually had my main bike break and trying to pack it up, and so I had to switch bikes at the last second. And one of the things I guess I didn't triple check was the seat post bolt, and it made it through that first race. But then as soon as I jumped on the bike here, right away, seat post slipped, and there was nothing I could do about it, unfortunately.
Oh, and so you were basically done.
Yeah, I kind of rode out of the saddle around the track 3 or 4 times, yelling for someone to throw me a wrench,
bike.
anything. I would have taken duct tape, but there was nothing, unfortunately. So I just had to call it. And the silver lining of that, I guess, is I got to watch Paula and her incredible race. So that was really a fun race, and you can grab that from him. He's your domestique. Come on now.
No, he's not. He's also racing this year.
Well, that's why I'm excited, because I think this time we'll get to see Eric Lagerstrom, because I think this is a great course for him. This is a power course. This is a course you just get in the aero position and you just hammer, which is sort of what Eric does.
Totally, and it also I think is. Maybe favors the fast swimmers a little bit because you can get out and get away, and Eric's obviously a great swimmer.
Eric's a great swimmer, and he's a power guy on the bike, and this is the best TT course there is with 20-meter draft rule. So this
it's
a good
super
course.
Fair. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
So
appreciate that.
No, it's true, and for you, Paula, it was so fun watching you because you finished up your year 70.3 win, and then came here, and you
I mean, those are the last 2 races I've done, so I finished on a high, and then 2020 was a weird year, but it's really cool to come back here having had a good experience here and kind of know the ropes a little bit, how to get into the track, all the things that we figured out last year. So obviously the stakes are higher this year and the competition's deeper, way deeper, but it's still nice to have had a good race here.
Well, and the race you had last year where you're running side by side with Lucy Charles, how fun was that?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't Lucy's a big name, and I was excited to race her last year. I didn't expect I'd be anywhere close to her near the finish or anything, so it was really cool to run side by side with her and bike on the track. Lisa Norden was here, and so it was still a strong field last year, and I really respect those girls, and it was cool to, have head-to-head competition all the way to the finish line. So.
Well, and so for this year, obviously $1.15 million, and it's also ITU athletes and 70.3 athletes and Ironman athletes, and you're the defending champion. So they got to beat you, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't come into it like that, I won last year, so I'm better than all of you, but
you leave it to us.
It certainly is it's a thing, I guess, but it is a huge field this year, so it's exciting to have it be that level of race at this point.
But you've been on this course, you've raced on this course.
That's
a help.
Yeah, for sure.
Big time help.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about this. You guys have pivoted really well, basically creating your own videos, right? You've been getting a lot of buzz off of what you've been doing. The art is to make lemonade out of lemons, and you guys have done a great job of that. Has that been a silver lining for you, that you've sort of created something that you might not have done if it hadn't been for COVID?
I think so. I think there's actually a lot of silver linings for us, and I honestly haven't missed racing that much. I might be one of the only ones, but I think this year's not only allowed us to start this that Triathlon Life brand and do our videos, but also just train healthy all year without the stress of racing. And so I'm coming into this race having not been injured at all year, which hasn't happened for a decade. So I think the silver linings are lots, but Eric can talk more about the videos.
I would totally agree. That's been awesome. Just even once a week, not feeling like I have to do that second run, because I just have a race in 2 weeks or whatever. That's been really great, and I think we've both seen a lot of benefit from that. So you can't really underestimate just having 8 months, 2 years, whatever, of unbroken training and just that kind of long-term strength in your legs. But yeah, like on the video front and that Triathlon Life and everything, that was I probably would have gone a little bit crazy if I didn't have something like that this year.
Yeah.
I don't know how anybody could or has been able to make it through this without having some sort of hobby or a dog or a kid or golfing or like whatever it is, because we haven't had that natural build up to a race and measure ourselves thing going on. That just is like the process that we've gone through since we were 10, 12 years old, and that like kind of defines our natural rise and flow. So for us, being able to like work on putting out a video every Sunday and have that regularity, it honestly has kind of brought meaning to weeks, or like one day a week at least, that makes it feel like
there was some structure.
There's some structure of any sort, like a thing that I have to do. Otherwise, you could very easily go, I'm not racing until December, maybe. Like if Daytona happens, that's probably the only thing that'll be happening. So that's hard when you're used to these once a month.
Right,
things.
and was the Galveston, that was the one race you were planning to do before this?
Yeah, I think that's the one race that we both allowed ourselves to think, okay, that might be the one additional one besides Daytona that'll happen.
Yeah. Right, and then really you're about to get on a plane the next morning?
Literally, yeah. Yeah, we were.
I don't think it was like that unexpected. I mean,
we were
COVID's
all sort of
getting really bad. I mean, we didn't even expect this to happen until we got here. So it's just been uncertainty all around, and you can't get too disappointed with it. Like I think the right calls have been made. It's just kind of in limbo. But we've been training pretty well all year and stayed relatively fit so that when a race was on the calendar, we could get race ready in a month or so. So we weren't like totally out of shape from when this was announced.
So what's been fascinating to me is you guys have both been in the sport for a long time. I think you were like 10 years old when you got into this thing. And we've seen a lot of promises made over years with different federations, and we're going to do this for you, that for you. Seeing PTO make promises and really deliver, I've been pretty excited about the fact that, one, this race is happening, and two, the pros got paid based on their rankings last year. How, as athletes who have gone down that path before, what are your thoughts on what the PTO has done for you this year?
Yeah, I think it's amazing, especially considered this is kind of the inaugural year of the PTO, and
I
year
know,
one,
just
and
got
we're here
started,
with
right?
this,
And thrown into the water, going, okay, what are you going to do for us?
Exactly, and this crazy year. So that they were able to pull this race off, and I think it's been amazing, and I think there's also lots to come. So there's a lot in the works, and obviously something like this takes years to develop, but the fact that it's kicked off in such a way is pretty amazing.
Yeah. I'm sure he feels the same way.
Yeah.
We don't need to both answer.
It's been great. We're both really excited to see how long they can keep it going and if they can get the traction and all the things. But they seem to be going about it the right way so far.
And Paula, like I said, you got into this sport when you're so young and had a ton of success early on, and have obviously ups and downs throughout. But now you're on the upswing again.
We'll see. I mean, it's been a whole year since I raced last, but I definitely feel like that, like in terms of my fitness and my training and everything. I feel like I'm at a good place right now. Good. And it's hard to compare myself to my 20-year-old, 2010 when I was winning WTS races again and again. But there's been a lot of like down since then, and growing up, becoming an adult, getting injured, like a lot of transition time. But I finally feel a bit like I found my flow with 70.3, and transitioning to long course helped a lot with that. So I'm looking forward to Sunday. I don't really know what to expect, but my training's been going well, and that's like all I can kind of base my expectations off. So
the transition from the ITU style racing, I mean, because it's so different, right? Where you're it's all swim, bike, run, but I think it's way more intense when you're doing the ITU style racing. Was a little bit of a fresh air for you to make that transition to the longer distance racing?
It was a learning curve, just in terms of like the nutrition becomes more important, the bike becomes more important. But honestly, our coach hasn't changed our training that much from when we did ITU. So this, I mean, especially on Sunday, it's halfway between an Olympic and it's not quite a 70.3. Right. So you still have to have that top end speed and be able to surge and be able to swim really fast. So I think increasingly the 70.3 distance is becoming more like the Olympic distance speed. So it's changing a lot, and it is a refreshing change in terms of just I don't know, doing ITU, you're completely at the mercy of your federation.
Absolutely,
versus
yeah.
70.3, you have a bit more control over your own career. So that's been refreshing.
Yeah. And for you, E, I've always looked at your career as you're a guy who surprises people, right? I mean, I don't think anybody thought when you went up to Alcatraz that you were going to knock off Andy Potts and out-sprint the guy who'd won the thing 8,000 times and then go off to Beijing and win that race. And, last year I had expectations that Eric's going to be on the podium here, and I think you did too.
Yeah.
So I'm sure right now people are, when they're making a list of people who could be a factor here, there's not a lot of Eric Lagerstrom.
No.
I don't think you're on that list, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah,
for you. You like
it
that.
way. Yeah.
You like the fact that, put that a little closer.
All right. No, yeah, I like it that way. I don't know. I've always been motivated by like intense, cool storylines in my head. I think that's kind of why I've gravitated to video and stuff. And I get most excited about the things that sound like the most poetic in my mind. And a guy showed up who was supposed to win and won is like less exciting to me than like, oh, nobody even, I'm just the plus one, when they ask me questions, they're like, how does it feel to, be Paula's partner? And, and I'm like, well, does it feel like you're racing at the same time? Like when she's out there? Like, yeah, I actually am. So it's like, I don't mind that at all. And it's kind of fun. And, having a little bit of a chip on your shoulder is
it's never a bad thing.
Not a bad thing.
Yeah, and from my perspective, I knew you as a Paulichian. Come on, dude. I didn't even know Paula. I knew you as the king of San Diego.
Yeah,
Paula
way
was
back.
the plus one. Come on.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, she came to San Diego because of me.
See,
and then
she came down to San
talked
Diego.
me out of leaving. I don't know what happened, but yeah, it's you're right. Yeah, it goes back a long way, and looking forward to just going out there and having a good time, and hopefully surprising myself as well.
Well, and like you said, you've become videographer through this and a storyteller through this, and that's something that will last far after triathlon is gone. What are your hopes and dreams when it comes to that? Because you can get into video storytelling, and obviously you have a knack for that.
Yeah, I started doing it in the first place just because I didn't see anything in triathlon that I really liked. I took a lot of inspiration from.
Never watched Breakfast with Bob. What the
well, I started doing it back in. Were you doing it in 2014? Breakfast with Bob?
Of course.
Yeah, of course you were. Anyway, where I was going with that was I love watching ski and surf films.
Yes.
So like, of course, you bring the information and everything, but if you watch
you want action.
I like the passion and the action
Right.
and the thing that makes you like, oh, I just got to go out and like get on my bike right now.
Right.
If you watch what we do, we don't do a lot of, oh, this is how you tighten a seat post.
No.
It's very much.
Maybe we should.
Maybe we'd get more people watching. But we just kind of like sharing the passion that we both have. We've been in it so long, and for some reason, and we like sharing that. So if I could just keep that going, even when I'm not an athlete, whether it's doing cool projects or filming some other people or whatever, I'm very open to where it could go. But I just love it when somebody tells me, oh, that thing you did really moved me, and I wanted to go run afterwards.
Yeah. Well, talk a little bit about Paula and talk about when you guys first met and watching her as an athlete, and what makes Paula great at what she does as an athlete.
Well, we actually met exactly 3 years ago to yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
We didn't have a cake. What the hell?
No. In Beijing. I knew of her before that and everything.
Of course.
But that's kind of when I decided we should start talking and stuff. At the Beijing International Triathlon.
Yeah.
If you've ever been there, you don't have many other people to talk to. So
right.
You kind of have to band together as you're making your way through China. But I think I've always been with Paula. I've always been so impressed by her ability to kind of keep coming back for more. And more often than not, I have to I'm the one kind of going, you shouldn't run today. You should, whatever. Because no matter whatever's going wrong or if she's had a bad day, she always just manages to somehow flick this switch as soon as she puts on running shoes or whatever it is and go and just kind of blow my mind all the time. And that's how it was at this race last year. We went into it, she hadn't really hardly been able to run. She had been semi-injured for the last month, and then just goes out there and in my opinion, kind of just wins it on heart. And so that's, if I could just sum up Paula in one thing, I'm just always kind of blown away.
So Paula, talk a little about this guy. What impresses you about him as an athlete? Person?
No, it impresses me every week that he's able to put these videos out every Sunday because they're an incredible amount of work. They're not just whatever.
Nothing happens on its own.
No, and yeah, the speed that he's gotten really fast and good at it and has nice equipment and stuff now. But yeah, the fact that he is so dedicated to that, and it's sort of transformed both of our years, just in terms of our exposure and staying relevant in 2020. So I don't do a lot, or I can't do a lot just because I don't know how to edit video to contribute to that. But it's certainly like benefited both of us a lot. And then beside that, training the whole time as well. So yeah, I think it's unfortunate last year ended how it did because he's maybe underrated now. But I think obviously he has a lot of potential. And
no question.
Yeah, both of us, I think, are the same. I just feel like for some reason, the way the PTO rankings are, I'm just like ranked higher because I had a good year end last year. So I'm a little more on the radar, but I don't feel necessarily like I'm going to do any better than Eric.
Well, and from a sponsorship perspective, creating the value that you guys have created, that separates you from somebody who has performance is great, and you have to have performance.
Yeah.
But the reality is, in this day and age, with social media becoming that much more important as it has, you have to be more than an athlete.
For sure. I think sponsors appreciate it. And I mean, Eric has, I don't know, I don't want to talk about sponsors too much, but I think it'll benefit me next year for sure. Just having a little bit more exposure. And like ultimately I'd like to be known for winning races, but I think this has just put us a little bit more on the map. And hopefully some companies take interest.
They do, and back in the day, it really all that mattered was your results. That was it.
Yeah.
You know, what did you do in this race? And now it's how many followers do you have? How many people are watching your videos? And that's as if not more important.
Right, and just like telling stories, and not necessarily just getting followers for the sake of it, but having people be passionate followers of us and truly take interest in our story and know our dog and know where we live, and all that is kind of cool as well, just to be like very real about it so people can relate to us, and we're not like these special superhuman people just because we race pro triathlon. We're very normal and go through the ups and downs just like anyone else does. So I think that's cool too. Like you watch Lionel's videos are amazing, and he's such an awesome person, but it's not achievable to do what he does. Superhuman watts.
I'm going to go 450 watts for an hour and 38 minutes exactly, and my heart rate will be 12.
Yeah. Whereas my watts are a little more achievable if people want to compare to me.
Well, that's the deal. And I think it's funny because that's one of the reasons I love doing this, because a lot of people who are watching think that Paula Findlay was identified when she was 7 years old to be a professional triathlete, and the federation took her under their wing, and groomed her for superstardom. Right? Mm-hmm. They don't understand that a lot of people started as most of you guys, everybody started as age groupers, and then found out, oh, I'm actually pretty good at this. Maybe I can. So the age grouper watching at home, these were age groupers who actually figured out how to make a living at it. But there's a connection between the people who are our fans and the people who are trying to make a living doing the sport.
Totally.
You guys are all the same people.
Yeah.
Right?
To a certain extent, yeah. Totally.
Hey, thanks, you guys. I always enjoy talking to both you guys.
Thank you very much.
Always a lot of fun. Keep doing what you're doing, and you can be a 2-time defending champion. That's okay.
That'd be crazy. Yeah.
That would be okay.
I would love to see that, and I'd like to see Mr. E up there on the podium.
Oh, that'd be crazy too.
That would make my day. Love
Awesome.
it. Again,
Thanks,
Breakfast with Bob, Challenge Daytona PTO 2020 Championship. Hold on, everybody. We will be right back.